I really hope that I will be given another chance to play this game. And I know many of you thought that I would be retiring today and announcing my retirement, but if I was ever going to announce my retirement, it would probably not be in a downtown Los Angeles hotel with this fairly ugly carpet.
Okay, defense attorney Alex Sanchez, do you believe in the tennis superstar Maria, what she's saying?
First of all, I was listening to that statement very carefully, and the first thing that came to my mind is she sat down with a bunch of lawyers, very clever lawyers.
Right.
And it was a very carefully crafted statement. She's a tennis player. She's not a lawyer. Sounds like a reasonably educated person, but she's not a lawyer. And she presented a brief in her own defense, and it was done very carefully with the proper wording and the proper phrasing. The general public may not fully understand what was happening there, but I understand it when I heard exactly what she was saying. And when I was finished listening to her, I don't understand what she said. Is she saying that she took these drugs unintentionally and she didn't know she was taking something illegal? Well, if that's true, then what are you apologizing for? You don't apologize if you have not knowingly committed an offense, right? But so it sounds like she sounds like she's trying to cover both bases. On the one hand, she had no idea that she was taking this medication that turned out to be banned. But on the other hand, I'm sorry for letting my fans. Well, why are you sorry for letting your fans down if you didn't know that you were doing anything illegal? It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. Now, from the little I've read about that drug, that's not a type of a drug that you take, for 10 years straight. That's a drug that one takes for a very temporary period of time, like a month here or a month there. She was taking it for 10 years straight. So that means she must have some incompetent doctor, right? Right? That's the only conclusion you can draw there. That was a very carefully crafted statement. Let me tell you something. That Sharapova, she's worth $195 million.
Wow.
That's how much she's worth. And some people, they just want to keep the ball rolling. Being number two, that's not good enough. Losing $10 million, no. You got to be on top.
And Alec, Joseph, why don't you weigh in? Did you find her to be truthful, not truthful, or somewhere in the middle?
Oh, well, as sick as she sounds, I was getting ready to send flowers to the ICU unit to make sure that she was going to be okay. We're talking about a world-class athlete.
Right.
I've watched her play. She's very vital on the court. Doesn't seem to be physically disabled in any way. She's, in one of the most demanding sports out there. The circuit is rigorous and hard. She's been doing it for years and years. I don't know if a lot of listeners know what the purpose of this drug is. In Eastern Europe and Russia, that drug is used, it's a cardiac medication that is used to promote oxygen uptake for people that are in congestive heart failure. And the effect that it has on somebody, let's say that you're a moderately good athlete with pretty decent cardiac output and respiratory uptake. You take this drug, and suddenly your capacity to perform increases by about 20%. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I was going to go out and play a basketball game with a bunch of young guys, and I wanted an extra kick in the pants, I think this drug would be perfect. I could go for, a couple hours longer, and the drug is not indicated. She threw out the disease diabetes. This drug is not indicated for use for patients with diabetes. I don't know why. I don't know if she's trying to say that heart disease is linked to diabetes, or if she's saying that this was given to treat diabetes. I think probably one of the most striking things I heard, you can tell I've kind of followed the story a little bit. There was a young tennis player, I don't know, Jordan, I can't remember when this dropped. Whenever the story dropped, they went and interviewed this young tennis player, and she's like 2 or 3 years out on the tour now, and she's saying, here I am, I'm out here busting my hump every single day. I've been practicing and trying to get better to try to compete and break into, I don't know, whatever it is, the top 50 players in the world or whatever it is. And here she is, and she's sitting virtually on top of the heap, and she's taking drugs to enhance her ability. And I'm not taking anything. So, I agree. Again, I agree with Alex. The fact that when she's saying this thing, she sounded like a Stepford wife. It sounded like something that had been kind of pre-programmed, and she's just kind of, spitting it out there in spite of the ugly carpet. It's just an odd. It was just kind of a surreal kind of thing to go through. I don't know.
Absolutely, I totally agree, and we'll see what happens if, in terms of punishment, she's definitely going to get some. Let's go out to our callers. Let's start it off tonight with Sarah from Huntington Beach, California. Good evening, Sarah. You're on the phone with Joseph Scott Morgan and Alex Sanchez on King Jordan Radio. How are you?
I'm great. 3 fine gentlemen to spend the evening with. I have to work backwards. As far as the tennis champ, I think she's been playing since she was 4 years old. She's got people. She's got handlers. She's got everybody. Somebody had to know she shouldn't be taking that drug. And I agree with all of the professionals on the show that she just wants to stay in the game. And I mean, with her money, okay, so go on and do something else. But anyway, that's all I have to say about her, because that was enough brain cells that died listening to the story. As far as OJ and Alex, are you the attorney that has no interest in watching the show? Did you say that a couple weeks ago, or was that someone else? I can't remember.
I think I said it, although I will have to concede I saw about maybe 5 minutes the other day.
And the Kardashians made you sick, so you decided to not watch it.
No, yeah.
Is that you, or is that someone else?
No, I never watched the card. You'll never get me to watch that show. That's
but they were on because they were in the show. I thought maybe that's why you didn't watch it. Anyway,
no.
Very interesting that Alan Dershowitz was on CNN last night.
Right.
And Alan, did anybody see him? He's very upset the way that Robert Shapiro. Yeah, he's very upset about Robert Shapiro and how he is being portrayed, because he says, he deserves more respect than the storyline is giving him. And also, this was very interesting. He wanted to know how Jeffrey Toobin, who wrote the book and was also on the show with Alan Dershowitz last night, how did he have knowledge that OJ took a lie detector and failed it? Because apparently that's in the book, and I never read the book. And but this is what astounded me, that Alan Dershowitz really and truly believes that the Detective Van Adder, who has since passed away, actually put the blood on the sock that was found in the bedroom on Rockingham Road. And I was really, really surprised at that. And he did make a good point, though. He never came out and said this regarding OJ, but he did say it's very possible to frame a guilty man as well as it is possible to frame an innocent man. And that makes a lot of sense to me. And I think that the whole trial, I think they were going to lose from the get-go. DNA or evidence or whatever, this jury did not want to see or find O.J. guilty. I truly think that's why he was pronounced not guilty, because they just didn't want to believe it. And also, the LAPD, they were up to, like, no good and shenanigans years before that, and they did have an awful reputation. So I think that strike alone for the prosecution to deal with was a burden that they just couldn't get over. And the other point was Jared. Okay, yes, everybody, believes and thinks that Jared should have had the heck knocked out of him and everything. And he what is the expression? He will reap what he deserves or whatever, and that's not up to me. I mean, he's in prison, but I wouldn't beat him up if I saw him. But what bothers me is that when prisoners beat people up and do worse than that, and I don't even want to think about it, but you all know what I'm talking about, it bothers me that guilty prisoners are being empowered because they get to do this. And that just makes me sick that these monsters are doing monstrous acts on other people, and why should they be empowered? I mean, that just bugs me. And the other point, because I know Mary's on the line and I know she wants to talk, so I'm going to make this very, very quick. Good old Hulk Hogan.
Don't hang up, though, because I want to ask you one question, Sarah.
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay. Hulk Hogan. Okay, whether he talks about his body parts or his sexual prowess, or whether he talks about it or not, if he did not have knowledge that he was being videoed, I think it's an invasion of privacy. I really, really do. Whether he's a kook or a nut or whatever, I think that act, if he thought it was done in private, it should never, ever have been on Gawker or anything else. And now I don't think he's hurt $100 million worth, but I didn't think that Aaron should have gotten $55 million either, especially because she was so upset that Fox Network showed her video, and then what does she do? She leaves ESPN and she goes and works for Fox Network, which shocked me. But so I think it's going to be up to the attorneys, Hulk's attorneys, to just get this jury enraged and just talk about how would you like it. You don't want that on anybody's internet or whatever. I think if the jury is outraged enough, he's going to get something. And, gosh, that's all I have to say.
Hey, Sarah, let me ask you this question. Okay,
yeah.
You mentioned before something about I was watching the Kardashians. By any chance, your name is Kardashian. Are you not related to these people?
I'm not related, and I'm not sure. Okay, I don't want to embarrass myself, but I'm not sure if it was you or if it was Richard Herman. It was somebody that said, "I'm not going to watch that show because I can't stand those Kardashians." So I am not affected in the least at all, and I'm not related, and I could only
hope. Maybe you were another sister or cousin or something like that.
No, and my butt, thank God, is not half as big as theirs. And I could only hope that deep down inside they're nice people. That's the only thing I could hope, that they're nice people. And that's all I have to say.
Well, listen, you made a lot of great points today, and we appreciate that, Sarah.
Yeah,
well,
thank you, Sarah.
And Joseph, you were very good on Nancy. I got to see it when I got home earlier, and I'm so glad she gave you a few words. She gave you some time to have some words in, because normally.
Yeah, I wait for a few crumbs to fall off the table so I can snatch them up every now and then.
All right, you guys take care. I know Mary's waiting patiently to talk to you, but God bless you all and have a great night.
God bless.
Thank you, Sarah. Have a great
Bye-bye.
night. Have a great weekend. And yes, Joseph, you have been doing an excellent job on Nancy. You were right there in terms of the OJ thing when it first broke. So kudos to you for doing a good job on Nancy Grace.
Oh, well, thank you.
Let's say hello to Mary. She's calling from Virginia. Good evening, Mary. You're on the phone with Joseph Scott Morgan and Alex Sanchez on Thursday night on King Jordan Radio.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hey, Mary.
Hi, Joseph, and hi, Alex. How are you today?
All right, how are you? I'm good, thank you.
I wanted to talk a little bit about Jared Foogle. I don't know if you guys are aware of the breaking news, I think it was today, that at the heels of